Buddham 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 Vande Dhammam 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 Vande Sangham 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 Vande Buddham Dhammam Sangham Vande Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato samma sambuddhassa Bhikkhave pañcime Sekhavesarajja karana dhamma katame panca Ida bhikkhave bhikkho sando hoti silava hoti bahussuto hoti arandha viryo hoti paññava hoti ti Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the supremely enlightened one. Dear friends in Dhamma, here we are going to discuss one of the discourses in Buddhism which comes in Anguttara Nikaya in Sutta Pitaka. The topic of the discourse is that Sekhavesarajja Sutta. Sekha means noble learner, and Vesarajya means assurance, confidence, or if someone has fearlessness or confidence that we have a strong personality or confidence on the path of liberation, that means Vesarajya, Nirbhayatava, fearlessness, guarantee, confidence, sure. That here Buddha has explained 5 things, 5 factors as assurance that we should have on the path of liberation. When we discuss Buddha's message, first Buddha has explained primary qualities that we should have in our day-to-day life, such as helping others and taking care of our parents and children, practicing generosity. These are the primary qualities that we should practice in our day-to-day life. The reason is that we should succeed in this personal life, day-to-day life. That is why Buddha has explained in the discourse of blessing, Mangala Sutta, what are the primary human qualities that we have to develop in our day-to-day life, such as Dhanancha Dhammacharyacha, practicing generosity and living in a virtuous life, and Mata Pitu Upatthana, taking care of our parents, Puttadarasa Sangho, helping our children, wives and husbands, and also Katanyuta, gratitude, Subhasitacha Vachacha, pleasant words. Those are very important in our day-to-day life. The reason is that we need to succeed in our day-to-day life. If we are not successful in our day-to-day life, we are unable to go to a spiritual life. Therefore, Buddha always emphasizes the importance of having a successful social life. And also, when we practice these qualities, we can develop our spiritual qualities in the mundane level. As the result of practicing meritorious deeds in our day-to-day life, we have some results such as longevity, good complexion, health, good friends, good education, good economic life. These are very important in our day-to-day life. As the result of practicing these primary qualities, we can gain these primary results. What are the primary results that we receive through practicing common worldly qualities? Health, longevity, good complexion, successful economic life, and good friends. Especially, we receive good friends. That is the most important thing in our life. One day, Bhante Ananda said that, dear Reverend Sir, Bhante Gautama Buddha, I understand something that the half of the dispensation of the Buddha depends on associating with good friends. At that time, Buddha says, no Ananda, no Ananda. Completely, the dispensation of the Buddha, the spiritual path, depends on associating with good friends. Associating friends decides where we are going to. What is our path? That is very important. When we develop with good qualities, we meet the same quality people. When we go into low levels with less qualities, we meet the same quality persons. That is why Buddha has always emphasized the importance of increasing the good qualities and associating with good friends in this path. Here, Buddha says there are 5 qualities, 5 things that we should practice on the path of liberation as assurance. When we have these qualities, we have a confidence, we have an assurance that we can go forward. These are like some securities in our life. And also these are the things that we can develop our confidence that we are going on the path of liberation. The very first one is Saddha, Saddho Hoti. Saddha is very important in this path. The very first thing Buddha says, Saddha or confidence. The very first one is Saddha. Saddha means confidence or faith. It is not just a blind faith. It is an understandable confidence. Where we should have confidence in? That confidence in the triple gem, the Buddha, his sublime truth, and his noble disciples. Before we start this path, this journey, we should have confidence in Buddha's message. The Buddha means his enlightenment, his understanding. Dhamma means what he taught. Sangha means the disciples who practiced this path and who gained the results on this path. These 3 things are interrelated. When we are confident in Buddha, we are confident in his teachings and his disciples. When we are confident in the Dhamma, we are confident in his followers and the Master, the Buddha. When we are confident in the Sangha or noble disciples, we are confident in what they practice and who the teacher is. Therefore, these 3 things are very interrelated. That is why in Buddha's time, sometimes some people met first time Buddha's disciples. When they saw those disciples and their very pleasant senses, they asked, "What do you practice? Your senses are so pleasant. Please say us, what are the teachings that you practice?" Then they listening to what they taught. Finally, they asked, "Who is your master? Who is your guide? Who is your spiritual teacher?" Then they found the Buddha. Sometimes some people first they listening to Dhamma, then they were inspired by the Dhamma. Then they found who the teacher was. And also finally they found the followers who have already gained the results. Therefore, these three things are very interrelated, and the very important thing is the message or enlightenment of the Buddha. Buddha says very clearly, "Yo dhammam passati somam passati." He who sees the Dhamma sees me. "Yo mam passati so dhammam passati." He who sees me sees the Dhamma. Again Buddha says, "Yo paticcasamuppadam passati so mam passati." Yo paticcasamuppadam passati, yo dhammam passati, yo dhammam passati, so paticcasamuppadam passati. He who sees the dependent origination or dependent co-arising sees the Dhamma. He who sees the Dhamma sees the dependent origination. Hence, completely understanding what the Buddha taught depends on understanding the dependent origination. And here, it is very important to understand Buddha's noble qualities. Buddha means actually he was a human being. He was born as an ordinary human being. After he attained enlightenment, he became an extraordinary human being, because he developed his mind to the maximum level with compassion and wisdom. And also he pointed out the place where he attained, what he gained. That is the very important thing. He became the asavakya jnana, the knowledge of eradication of defilements he attained. And also he pointed out the path others people also can attain. That is the very important thing. And also he says, "Ahani araha loke." I am also one of the arhantas in this world. You also can become an arhant. But we respect the Buddha because he himself realized this truth and he attained enlightenment without any other guidance. That is why we especially respect the Buddha. However, Buddha says, you also can become the same statement that I have gained, I have achieved. That is the very important thing. The qualities of the Buddha, Itipiso Bhagava Arham, such indeed the exalted one, Samma Sambuddho, self-enlightened, Vijacharan Sampanno, endowed with knowledge and conduct, Sugato, well gone, Lokavidu, knower of the world, Anuttaro Purisadhammasarati, incomparable trainer of persons to be tamed, Sattahadeva Manusana, the supreme teacher of gods and men, Buddha enlightened, and Bhagava exalted. These are the qualities that Buddha's all qualities are included into these 9 qualities. Whenever we think Buddha's noble qualities, it is one of the extremes of merit, meritorious extreme. It is one of the meditation technique, Buddha Anusati. Contemplating on the qualities of the Buddha is one of the meditation techniques that we can use to purify our mind. Among the 40 meditation techniques in Buddhism, Buddha Anusati is one of them. Contemplating on the qualities of the Buddha, when we think such indeed the exalted one, worthy, supremely enlightened. When we reflect on one by one, actually at the moment our mind is so pure and calm. We can concentrate our mind when we think about Buddha's noble qualities. Not only that, if we can contemplate on the qualities of the Dhamma, Swakhato Bhagavata Dhammo, Dhamma is well expounded by the Blessed One. Sanditiko, visible results. Akaliko, immediately effective. Ehipasiko, calling one to come and see. Opanayiko, leading onwards. Pacchattam Veditambo, to be personally realized by the wise. When we think these qualities of the sublime truth again and again, that is also one of the ways that we can purify our mind as a meditation technique. Dhammanusati. Contemplation of the qualities of the Dhamma. Again Buddha says, Sanghahanusati, contemplation of the qualities of the noble disciples. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. Actually they entered the very clear path, beautiful path, upright path, and also Sangha is the field of the supreme field of the people for their merits. When we think their qualities, actually that is also one of the ways that we can purify our mind as a meditation technique, Sanghahanusati, contemplation of the noble qualities of the noble disciples of the Buddha. And Saddha is very important. Saddha means when we start the spiritual journey, first of all we should need a confidence in what the Buddha realized, Buddha's enlightenment, and what he realized, what he achieved. If we have this understanding, our courage, our determination, energy gradually increases. We are inspired by his noble qualities. It helps us to go forward on this path. That is why Buddha says at the very beginning, we should have the confidence or saddha. You know, in our day-to-day life, we do a lot of things with confidence. Sometimes some people may think that without seeing anything, I don't believe anything. Some people, you have seen that. Actually, in our day-to-day life, more than 50% we believe without seeing. Have you seen that the earth is round? Earth is like a orange or like a ball? Have you seen through your eyes? No. Have you seen have you seen that? Can you remember when you were born? How do you trust in your birth certificate? How do you believe in your mother and father? Have you done DNA search? No, we never done. We believe a lot of things with confidence, with faith in our day-to-day life. Not only we, even scientists, they do a lot of things with confidence. That confidence is not bad. Sometimes it may be wrong, but mostly it may be true, correct. And here also it is very important. As a very simple example, when you go to a place never you have been to, first of all you take the address and also you save it in your GPS navigator, GPS, and until you reach the destination, you trust in GPS. There are a lot of things that we trust in confidence, with confidence. However, here also it is very important. If we criticize at the very beginning, when we start something, we can never have the results. It doesn't mean that we should have a blind faith. Buddhism never appreciates blind faith. We should have a understandable confidence about this path. Here, it's very important to understand Saddha. Saddha means what Buddha realized, Buddha's enlightenment, and his path, his message. That is very important. This is the very first assurance that we should need on this path. The second one, Saddha Sīla hoti. Sīla means virtue. Virtue or moral conduct. Discipline in our speech and behavior. The foundation of Sīla or virtue is that 5 precepts. Abstaining from killing beings, abstaining from stealing, abstaining from sexual misconduct, abstaining from false speech, abstaining from intoxicating drinks and drugs. These are the human qualities, primary human qualities. Discipline in our speech and behavior. This is also very important. Sīla or moral conduct can be explained in 2 levels. What they are in the mundane level and supra-mundane level. Mundane level means in the social life, we think there are some people around us, we should have a good discipline, moral conduct, and also I should have a self-discipline. Then we have a discipline in our speech and behavior, thinking about other people. That is in the mundane level. It is very important. As a successful society, if you practice Sīla, it is very helpful. And Buddhism explained not only that, but Buddhism has explained very important virtue, moral conduct, that Diṭṭhiñca anupagamma sīlava dassanena sampanno. That is the virtue without going to extremes. That is the highly appreciated, praised in Buddhism. You know, in the primary level, in mundane level virtue we can see everywhere. But Buddhism has explained very important thing. When we have a discipline on the path of liberation, we should not go to extremes. What are the extremes? Extremes that if we think there are something outside, that is also one of the extremes. If we think there is nothing outside, that is also one of the extremes. Without going to these extremes, the Buddha has proclaimed the virtue of Sīla in Buddhism. What is that? Buddha says very clearly, when we experience arising of 5 aggregates, we never go to the extreme of there isn't something, there is not something. And also if we understand cessation of 5 aggregates, we never go to the extreme of there is something. If we think, now here we are discussing about the supra-mundane level doctrines, okay? Not the primary in our day-to-day experiences. Now we are explaining the high level, in the supra-mundane level virtues, doctrines. Here Buddha says, if we think there is something outside, actually that is an ignorance. And also if we think there isn't something, that is also one of the ignorances. Buddha says, every moment our experience arises through our senses. When we go to the mirror, at the moment our reflection appears there. When we move away, immediately the reflection disappears there, ceases there. Like that, when you think you are a child, when you think your mom, at the moment you have that experience, immediately it ceases. When you think something, at the moment your entire life is that thing. When you think your vehicle, your entire life is your vehicle at the moment. At the moment, actually you haven't even your body, even your clothes. When you think your clothes, at the moment you have clothes. At the moment you haven't other things. We are talking about the high level, supramundane level doctrines for the enlightenment, for the cessation of suffering. That present experience also not permanent. It is also impermanent. Buddha says, Rupam eko anto. Forms are one of the extremes, and mental conditions are also one of the extremes. Vijnanam, consciousness, is the middle. That is also impermanent. That present consciousness also has arisen with conditions. When conditions separate, immediately that present experience goes to pass. Yeah, change of thoughts, it means actually it is like some candles or lamps. We can light one candle from a candle, one by one, but they are separated. When we see, for example, when we look at this light, actually in a second, sometimes it put off and put on 60 times. But when we look at it, we think that it continuously goes. But it is not continuous. Like that, we think that our mind is like an extreme. Actually, it is not like that. When we look at, we see it in the mundane level. But when we see it as the reality, actually every thought is different. But the previous thought has influenced the present thought. Present thought is completely different from the previous thought. Previous thought influences the present thought, and present thought influences the next thought, but they are different. And also here, virtue is sila. Sila means, according to the mundane level, 3 meritorious deeds with the understanding of the karmic law. Sila is one of the meritorious acts, meritorious deeds, dana, sila, bhavana. We practice sila in the mundane level, seeking a blissful life, wishing a blissful life hereafter. But in the supramundane level, we practice sila as one of the disciplines, Trivida Siksha, Sila, Samadhi, Panya. In the mundane level, Dana, Sila, Bhavana, for a blissful life. In the supramundane level, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, virtue, concentration and wisdom. There, in this level, in the supramundane level, we practice Sila not only for a blissful life, but a help for our concentration. When we have good discipline in our speech and behavior, that is spiritual, that virtuous life helps us to concentrate our mind. If we don't have moral life, actually we are unable to concentrate our mind. That is why Buddha says, Sile patittaya naro sapanyo chittam panyancha bhavyam. He who has a virtuous life practices concentration and wisdom. Sila or virtue is the foundation of spiritual life. That is very important. You know, sometimes without seeing the path, if we practice sila, it is a disturb for our life. We think that we protect sila's precepts. But if we have this understanding, we think that sila or virtue protects us. We don't protect sila. We don't practice sila. We don't follow sila. Actually, sila or virtue takes care of us on this path. If we have virtuous life, then we can go forward easily on this path. Then we are very happy to practice virtue, because it makes easy our life, spiritual life. And also the third one, the third quality is that we need Bahusutta, well learned. Here, knowledge is emphasized by the Buddha. Buddha says very clearly, I proclaim the liberation for those who know the path, who see the path. Before you start a journey that you never have been to, first of all, you should need to know the place or address where you are going to. If you think, I don't need the address, when I drive, I will find it. Then can you reach the destination? Never. Like that. Before we start the spiritual journey, Buddha says, we have a clear understanding what we practice, where we reach. That is very important. Here, Bahusutta. Bahu means a lot. Bahusutta. Bahu means a lot. Sutta means heard, listening to. In Buddha's time, the education depended on listening. That is why Buddha says, Bahusutta, he who has listening to a lot is Bahusutta. It means well learned, good education. Here, especially according to Buddhism, we should know about two things. What they are, the heavenly path and deliverance path. Heavenly path or blissful life depends on understanding the karmic law. The more we associate with good friends, the more we know the karmic law. It means whatever we do with intention, physically, verbally or mentally, we will have the same results according to our mental condition. If mind is wicked, results are negative, evil. If mind is pure, results are fruitful. If you have this understanding, we try to overcome evils as much as we can, sabba papa sakaranam, not to do any evil, because we have to face some problems, difficulties, because of polluted mind. Not only that, we do good deeds, kusala supasambada, with a pure mind, pleasant mind. We practice good deeds physically, verbally and mentally as much as we can, with the understanding of the karmic law. The theory of karma is one of the main topics in Buddhism. But the thing is, understanding the karmic law also depends on ignorance. What is the ignorance? We think the same person who does something will be reborn. That is an ignorance in the supramundane level. According to supramundane level, we don't think the same person will be reborn again and again. In the mundane level, we say, please do good deeds because you have a next life, therefore practice 3 meritorious deeds. We say in the mundane level. But when we go to the higher level, supramundane level, Buddha never says it. It is another level. And it is a deep concept in Buddhism. It doesn't mean that Buddhism doesn't accept a next birth. Actually, we have a next birth. But that birth depends on the conventional truth. And here Buddha says, as we mentioned before, Buddha says, Atibhikkhave kamman sukkhaṃ sukha vipākam. There are some actions that consequence white results. Buddha says, there are some actions which are white that consequence white results. If we do something with a pure mind, we will have fruitful results. It depends on the conventional truth. Avidya paccaya sankhara. Mental thoughts arise because of ignorance. It belongs to the samsaric circle. As the result of doing good deeds, when you think something that you have done as good deeds, such as taking care of your parents, helping homeless people, when you think that incident, you think, there are some people outside that I have helped. You get them as permanent. According to your present pleasant mental condition, you will be reborn in a blissful life. At the end of your life, if you think your mom, even though she has passed away already, if you think your mother's or father's good qualities, at the moment you will find their pictures, their experience. At the same time, you will be reborn where they will be. If they are in the higher realm, if your mental condition also in the higher realm, you will meet them in the same place. If they are in the higher realm, your mental condition is in the lower realm, you will meet them but in separate realms. Such as, in the same house, at your home, you have human beings and also you have animals in the same house, at the same house. Sometimes they may sleep on the bed with you. You may think that both of you are in the same realm, but you are in the human realm, they are in the animal realm. They are different. They can never realize the Dhamma even though they come with you in the same vehicle. The realms are different. And here, karmic law, it is very important. Buddha has explained special karma that there are some actions need a black no white results. How we overcome this circle? There are some actions need a black no white, that consequence need a black no white results. What is that? Whatever you think, if you think that experience is impermanent, that experience arises at the moment with the conditions, at the moment you reflect on impermanence arising and ceasing of your thoughts. At the end of your life, if you can remember your mom or dad, but if you are clever to understand that is a thought, that is not the real thing in the world, you remind your own thoughts at the moment. And also if you are clever to realize the impermanence of your thoughts, if you are clever to understand the impermanence of the five aggregates, that is not just a thought but five precepts. If you can realize the arising and ceasing of five aggregates at the moment, you can remember your mom at the end of your life, but at the same time you reflect on impermanence of your thoughts. It means you are not ready to come back to the samsaric circle. You are going to end your samsaric circle. And also you are getting rid of suffering. And also you are reaching the liberation. That is why Buddha has explained neither black nor white results. At the moment we don't collect either black nor white results. And for that we should have the knowledge of the dependent origination. As a Bahusutta person, as a well-learned person, we should know the karmic law and the dependent origination. Both of them are very important. Buddha was very kind. Buddha realized that all persons can't achieve liberation in this immediate life. Some people may be reborn. That is why Buddha has proclaimed the heavenly path too. But there were some people who were gifted, who were so wise and intelligent. For them, Buddha has explained the deliverance path with the dependent origination. We should be qualified in the karmic law and the dependent origination. Dependent origination means arising and ceasing of our experience. We should know them as five aggregates, as spheres, as elements. Khandato, dhatuso, ayatanaso. We should know, we should realize, we should recognize our experience as five aggregates, as senses such as eye, ear, nose, and also as elements, chakku dhatu, rupa dhatu, chakku vijnana dhatu, the element of eye, the element of forms, the element of consciousness, eye consciousness. As aggregates, as senses, as elements, we should know our entire life. And the fourth one, that we should be qualified according to what Buddha taught, Aradha Viryo Hoti, the fourth one. What is Aradha means? Energy, determination, courage, motivation. This is also one of the assurances that we should need on this path. If we have confidence in what the Buddha taught, and also our courage gradually increases to the maximum levels, because we know very well, if we don't practice this path, we have to suffer when we separate from our dearest and nearest. We always take food to cry in the future for our tears. We take our food laughing, but we take food what for? We are taking food. We take food to cry one day for our tears. If we need to overcome tears, we should practice this path. Because, if we have close relatives and friends, when they separate from us, we have to suffer, we have to cry. Even though we haven't any friend, if we have a physical body, when our body is going to old age, sicknesses, death, we have to suffer. That is why we should have vigilance. Vigilantly, we should practice this path. We have a great determination, courage, energy to practice this path as much as we can. Before we receive those negative results. And for that, according to Buddhism, courage or energy can be divided into four. One of them is the courage to overcome bad deeds, evils that we don't do yet. Anuppannānaṁ akusalaṇaṁ dhammānaṁ anuppādāya candaṁ janeti. We should have a determination to overcome some evils that we don't do just now. That is the first one, first energy. The second one, uppannānaṁ akusalaṇaṁ dhammānaṁ anuppādāya candaṁ janeti. We should have a determination, courage. We should have to overcome some bad deeds that we don't do now. Still, if you don't do some bad deeds or evils, we should have a courage that I don't do them again. That is also one of the energies. The first one is anuppannānaṁ akusalaṇaṁ dhammānaṁ anuppādāya. We should have energy to not to do what we haven't done still. We haven't done yet. The second one is that we should have energy not to do what we do now. What we do now. The third one, uppannānaṁ anuppannānaṁ kusalaṇaṁ dhammānaṁ uppādāya candaṁ janeti. We should have an energy to do what we don't do now. We should have an energy to practice that what we don't do now. For example, if you don't practice meditation now, you should have an energy to start it. That is very important. If you don't practice generosity, you should start it. And also, you should have an energy to continue what you have already doing. If you come to the temple once a week, you should continue it. That is the fourth one. In these four areas, Buddha has emphasized the importance of practicing energy, determination or courage. Courage is very important. Buddha says, if we know this path, the courage come to our inside, through our skin to our bones. Because when we see this path, we are so pleasant, we are inspired with this path, and our courage increases to the maximum level. We give the priority to practice this path. If we miss this moment, this chance, sometimes we don't have a chance like this for many eons. This is a very rare chance that we received. Yes, please.
On the fourth one, the first two are for bad evil.
Yes.
The last two are for good.
Yes, very good. Yes, very first one, anuppannānaṁ akusalānaṁ dhammānaṁ anuppādāya. We should have energy not to do what we are still doing. The second one, we should have energy not to do what we do now. First one, what we don't do. Evils. And the third one, we should do good deeds, what we don't do now. We should start it. The fourth one, we should continue what we have already doing. These four things in Samma Vayama, in right energy, in the the eightfold path. Yes, this is described in the eightfold path. Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa, Samma Vācā, Samma Kammanta, Samma Jīva, Samma Vāyāma. Right effort, right energy. And Āraddha Virya. And the final one, the fifth one, the very, very important thing, Paññā or wisdom. Wisdom is one of the assurances that we should need on this path. What is that? Especially, again we can explain wisdom according to this karmic flow and the dependent origination. Especially, Buddha has explained here, Paññā means understanding the dependent origination of Four Noble Truths. The process of arising and cessation of suffering. Whenever we think there is something outside which is permanent, it means our mind is fixed in outside persons and things. It means outside people and things can control us. When they change, we are suffering. If we are clever to realize that those things are arised at the moment, then when we experience something, we immediately look at inside. That inside also not permanent. That sometimes you may think that outside things are impermanent, but my mind is permanent. That is also one of the extremes. That is also one of the ignorances. Mind also impermanent. It also arises at the moment. And first, we should understand the impermanence of outside material things. Secondly, we should understand the impermanence of our present consciousness. Finally, we should recognize the impermanence of our consciousness too. Focusing our mind on paññā or impermanence or wisdom. When we reflect on impermanence, arising and ceasing of our body and mind, at the moment we realize everything, whether physical or mental, are impermanent. At the moment we are completely dependent on not only even mind but also wisdom. We depend on wisdom, reflecting on impermanence. At the moment we don't depend on anything outside or even anything inside as the mind. We depend on wisdom. Wisdom means paññā. It doesn't take a place. It is a understanding. That is wisdom. And according to Buddhism, the ability of reflecting on impermanence is the highest quality skill that we can gain in our life. We were born to realize and reflect on this impermanence again and again. The more we reflect on impermanence, the more we have overcome suffering. Therefore, we should give the priority to reflect on impermanence of our body and mind. Finally, we need to realize only, the impermanence of five aggregates. Whatever we experience through our six senses, it means five aggregates arise at the moment. Rupa forms, Vedana feelings, Sanya perception, Sankhara mental formations, Vijnana consciousness. These five things are together. Such as, when we drink a tea, there are several things there. Heat, water, sugar, tea. There are several things are together. Like that, when you see something, when you hear something, when you smell something, when you feel something, when you taste something, when you think something, it means these five aggregates are behind of them. We can see flowers, statues, carpets, chairs, seats, but in the background there are five aggregates. If we are clever to recognize five aggregates, we don't depend on outside things. Our life is like an iceberg. We can see a few things above the water as an iceberg. In bottom of the water there are a lot of things. Like that, in the physical world, visible world, we can see a lot of things, but only few things. In the background, in the bottom level, our experience is like five aggregates. Day by day, when we go forward on this path, especially we practice these qualities. Saddha, Sila, Bahusutta, Aradha Virya, Panya. Confidence in the triple gem, Sila or virtue, Bahusutta, knowledge, well learned, and Aradha Virya, energy, Panya, wisdom. These are the qualities of the noble learner. According to Buddhism, all people are divided into three. They are ordinary people, learned people, and perfect people. Pruthajjana, Seka, Aseka. Ordinary people means still who are reaching the Seka or the noble situation. When we attain the noble level, then we are going to the Arahantship little by little. The important thing is that no matter where we are, it is very important to understand how much we have overcome suffering. It means if we are clever to reflect on impermanence at the moment, we have overcome suffering. The most important thing, how far we have overcome suffering. Sometimes you may think that you are very powerful with your spirituality, but when someone blames you, suddenly you may get upset. And we can check our spirituality when other people neglect you, when other people blame you. That is the place where we can check our success in our spirituality. Okay, have you any question? Thank you so much for your good attention. Here today we discuss Sekhavesarajja Sutta. the discourse of assurance of a noble learner. We should develop these qualities as, our strong personality. If we have these qualities, we have confidence. We are sure that we are on the path of liberation. That is why Buddha says these are Sekhavesarajja. Sekhavesarajja means assurance. We have a strong confidence, guarantee that we have reached we have entered the street for the liberation. And day by day, we should develop these qualities with associating good friends, listening to Dhamma, with wise reflection, and practicing as 3 disciplines: virtue, concentration, and wisdom. And finally, Buddha says, we can check our success in our spiritual life. Buddha says, as a wise person, the highest qualities that we can practice are concentration and wisdom. The duration of concentrating our mind is our GPA, grade point average. And reflect on impermanence is our IQ, intelligent quotient. Day by day, we should increase the duration of concentration, and also we should develop the duration of reflecting on impermanence. This is the real success as a spiritual person who needs to overcome suffering. Okay, thank you for your good attention. By the power of all these meritorious deeds, may our departed relatives also receive this spiritual energy. May they enhance their samsaric journey, and finally may they also attain the final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's share these merits with our departed relatives too. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnam hotu sukitā hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these meritorious deeds and spiritual energy, may guardian deities and angels also be happy with these merits, and may they enhance their divine energy. May they keep their eye on you too. May they also attain the final bliss of liberation. With that intention, let's share these merits with guardian deities and angels too. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu sāsanam. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu desanam. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devā nāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā chiraṃ rakkhantu tvaṃ sadā. By the power of all these meritorious deeds and spiritual energy, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May your all righteous wishes meet with success. Finally, may all of us attain the final bliss of liberation, Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantā ca nindukkhā, bhayam pantā ca nibhayā, sokam pantā ca nissokā, hontu sambe pipānino. May the triple gem bless you.